Air tastes of rust and cold concrete. I've been down here long enough to know the generator hum beneath my boots, a steady, buried heartbeat. The light is too sharp, glinting off steel walls until my skull feels like it's glowing. I stand at attention before the holotable, hands clasped behind my back, facing the general. He doesn't look at me. He watches the rotating 3D schematic Kharanjin, the cursed citadel buried beneath Sector 9's red sands. Urgent. They called this briefing. They always do. But this time the silence stretches. The general finally turns, his face a mask of cracked permafrost, eyes sunken but burning. Kharanjin virology vault, he rasps, voice dry as spent cordite. 72 hours ago we lost telemetry, no distress. No breach alarm, just silence. Satellite shows no damage, but thermal scans detect movement deep in sublevel 5, humanoid but erratic. Too many heat signatures where there should be none. My throat tightens. I've seen what festers in places like Kharanjin. The things they didn't name, the things they buried twice. To infiltrate, he continues. Locate and retrieve asset Eon, priority override. Omega-7, if containment fails, the world has 6 days before the contagion becomes airborne. 6 days, not hours, not minutes, you understand. I do. I've read the old files, the ones they burned but not deep enough. Eon isn't just data, it's a sequence, a key buried in the genetic code of patient 0, the one who survived. Go dark at insertion, no drones, no comms beyond burst pulses. The vault's M shielding is intact. Once you're in, you're blind. Extraction only upon retrieval confirmation. Burn protocols are active. Fail to check in within 12 hours of entry and we level the facility from orbit. No exceptions. He pauses. For the first time, hesitation flickers in his eyes. They built Kharanjin to hold more than viruses, he says. They built it to hold consequences. Eon knows that, and if it's still alive, it may not want to be rescued. I nod, no questions, no promises, just the weight settling in my chest, the kind that comes from knowing you're walking into a tomb that isn't finished claiming bodies. Gear will be issued in 30, thermal suit, pulse dampener, neural shroud for biometric bypass, and 1 live-round sidearm, just in case. I turn to leave, boots echoing like a countdown. They don't tell me what happens if Eon isn't the asset. What if it's the warning? Air is thin, a brittle gasp through cracked glass. I cinch the mask tighter, 1 flaw, 1 weak seal, and this drop is a death sentence before I even hit sand. Below the Kharanjin desert sprawls, a jagged wound of black and ochre. The vault, sublevel 5, festers beneath it like a rotten tooth. 6 days. 6 days until the contagion breaches. 6 days until this place becomes ground zero. My gloved fingers flex. The thermal suit hums, the pulse dampener in my left forearm sinking to my heart. Neural shroud active. My thoughts are muffled, insulated, good. If the vault scans, if something listens, it won't find easy prey. Wind howls through the open bay, no more stalling. I step to the edge, freefall swallows sound. Then the atmosphere claws back, a scream rushing past. Stars above, desert below, no moon, no comfort. Just the burn in my lungs and the weight of the live-round sidearm. 1 bullet, 1 chance to make noise. My wrist HUD shows 2 minutes to deployment. The thermal suit fights the biting cold of altitude. My breath fogs the visor, then clears. A double blink, neural interface active, comms flicker, signal weak, scrambled, but it's there. Control, echo, inbound at 20,000, no hostiles, atmosphere stable, trace particles, nothing active, don't breathe deep. A pause, then distorted. Copy, echo, monitor thermal spikes. Sublevel 5's containment field fluctuates. If it collapses before you're inside, 90 seconds to airborne saturation. I'll be inside before it breathes. Another blink sinks the shroud. The world dims at the edges. Peripheral noise filtered, thoughts wrapped in static wool. Let them search. Let them hunt. I'm not here to be found. 10,000 feet. The chute deploys with a jolt. The desert surges upward, immediate, real, the vault's entrance buried beneath dunes disguised as rock. But I know the markers, the infrared ghosts. The silence where birds won't fly. Below, something glints, unnatural. A flash of movement, debris doesn't matter. Adjusting trajectory, riding the currents. Suit dampeners hum louder, countering drift. One hand drifts to the sidearm, not for shooting, not yet, just to know it's there. The ground rushes, the air tastes of dust and old fire. And beneath it all, faint, barely there. A scent like wet copper, wrong, unnatural. They said the contagion wasn't airborne yet. But something's already leaking. Sand claws at my suit. Visibility, 0. I brace against the gale, pulse dampener a cold weight against my ribs. Its hum sinks to my blood, one tremor, one spike, and this place ignites. Each step sinks. Dunes shift, time bleeds, 6 days until sublevel 5 breaks containment. The unknown leak, I can't think about it, cities silenced. Bodies stacked, this isn't retrieval, it's a race no one else hears. Neural shroud tighten. The air, metallic through the respirator, filter holding. Shroud blurs my signature, a ghost. Strain behind my eyes, one sidearm. One live round, barely enough, crest the dune. Below, a rusted spire. The vault entrance, 30 meters east, buried. Sync the dampener to Reykjavik's dead server, it clicks. Safe for now, wind shifts, static, current sensors, proximity triggers, I freeze. Drones will flood this place. I drop to my knees, sand my cover. Breath slows, dampener steady, silence. Red pulses, trip lines, 10 meters apart. I map the path. Shroud flickers, a tug at my thoughts, not human, not natural, the vault resists. But I'm here, crawl inch by inch, sand grinds, wind howls, the entrance nears, eon what they buried. Why the storm rages, sensors wait. I move silent, unseen, toward the dark. The airlock door groans, containment fields flickering. My gloved palm presses against my chest plate, the pulse dampener a silent thrum against my racing heart. The neural shroud weaves a static veil over my thoughts, a ghost in the machine. This vault was meant to be a tomb. They were wrong to think it impassable. I kneel, the access panel is cold, unnaturally so for this storm-lashed world. Life support hums a death rattle, recycling air stale for years. My HUD flares, trace particulates. Spores, asterisk airborne contagion, origin, sublevel 5. 6 days to dispersion, less if the leak spreads. My sidearm's grip pries the panel, the mechanism groans, then hisses open. Wires writhe like frozen vipers. The shroud grants me vision, etching the circuitry in stark monochrome. Security, biometrics, pressure seals, all funneled through one node. One cut, the airlock decompresses. One misstep, the drones descend. I slot the pulse dampener into the port, not a key. A whisper, a ghost signal, a stolen echo from a dead man's terminal in Reykjavik. The system hesitates. Then a soft chime, authorization granted, the outer door grinds open, seals retracting with a shudder. No alarms, just silence, thick and watchful. I step through. The air changes, colder, heavier, charged with something alien. Frost coats the walls, not naturally, but in fractal patterns spreading. I check my sidearm. One live round, not for defense, for silence. If I must speak, it will be quiet. Below, something stirs, not mechanical, organic. The leak isn't just chemical, it's alive, and it knows I'm here. A pressure builds at the base of my neck, a phantom touch. I move forward, the path is clear, too clear, no bodies, no struggle, just absence. The hum deepens, not from machines, but from the very structure from beneath. Asset Eon is down there in sublevel 5, and it's not dormant, it's waiting. Sublevel 5. The air bites metallic, thick with an unnameable dread. My thermal suit clings, slick with sweat, a constant reminder of the risk in every breath. The neural shroud hums, a low thrum against my temple, a shield against detection. Essential, something down here is awake. Ahead, the decon corridor bleeds red. Emergency lights pulse like a failing heart. The first airlock gapes, a jagged maw where the door was ripped outward, not breached, escaped. I step over a shattered biohazard seal, boot print scarring the warning. 3 sets fading into the gloom, not mine. Inside the first chamber, spray nozzles hang dry. Brownish residue cakes the walls, flaking. I scrape a gloved finger against it, crumbles like ancient rust. But it's organic, necrotic fallout. Stage 3. This chamber failed repeatedly. The second zone door remains sealed, glass fogged from within. My palm presses the release. Nothing. Manual override. I wrench the panel, splice 2 wires. A hiss. The door grinds open. The stench hits like a physical blow. Bodies in hazmat suits litter the far exit, limbs contorted at impossible angles. One faceplate is shattered. The face behind it changed. Skin stretched taut over something moving beneath. White eyes, a jaw split in a silent scream. They aren't dead, not fully. Something is using them. I move past them, pulse a slow drum, breath measured. My sidearm feels like a child's toy, one live round. One shot. I won't waste it on husks that still twitch. Then a log tablet, half buried, screen cracked but active. A final entry timestamped 6 days ago, the contagion warning, *containment breach, subject Theta 9 escaped primary vault, secondary seals failed. We tried to evacuate, but they weren't human by the time they reached the corridor. They moved wrong, spoke in our voices. I don't know who to trust. If you're reading this, don't open the inner door. It's not containment, it's a trap. They want out. And they know we're still. The feed cuts, I look up. The inner decon door hangs ajar. A dark smear trails across the floor, leading deeper into the vault. They aren't missing, they're hunting. Sublevel 5. The air burns, rust and rot. I press into the bulkhead, heart a frantic drum against my ribs. My thermal suit sweats. One wrong move and the vents above will shriek. They're listening, not just the drones. Something else breathes in the dark, watches. I creep forward, boots silent on the grating. Sector B vaulted doors, biometric locks. But the side panels pride someone or something was here. The log terminal, asset Eon data. It has to be. The mission distills to this one spark of hope. A flicker, I freeze, drones. Organic, pale, spindled things in the upper shaft, segmented limbs glistening. No eyes, just slits where sound dies. They hear movement, breath, blood, neural shroud activates. A cold wave behind my eyes, thought dulls. My signature vanishes, drowning on dry land. The first drone hovers, limbs twitching, testing the air. I stop breathing. Seconds crawl, it drifts away, lost in a ceiling conduit. I move fast, low. The terminal, a recessed console, buried under ash, fingers tremble. I jack in, corrupted, fragmented, encrypted, but there's a pattern, a sequence. I trace it, decrypting, fragment surface, Project Eon, Stage 7 subject, complete cellular override, regeneration, exceeds known limits, cognitive assimilation, successful host integration, ongoing. Containment breach protocol, initiated 47 hours prior to lockdown, final log, not a virus, a voice. It remembers us. The screen glitches, an audio file play it and the terminal pings. But I need to know. I tap the trigger, a whisper, not recorded live, through dead speakers, my voice deeper, older, you're close. But you're not the first, you're the echo. I rip the jack free. Lights stutter deep in the shafts, metal screams, something moves fast coming, my sidearm feels useless. One round, one chance, but the drones aren't the hunters, the organic threat. The thing they fear, that's coming. And it knows I've seen the truth. Asset Eon isn't data, it's awake, and it's been waiting. The air in Sector C sears my lungs, a toxic cocktail of rust and antiseptic. My boots grind glass, leaving smeared tracks on cracked tile. Containment units lie shattered. Lights strobe, then die, plunging me into the dim, pulsing red of emergency strips. Something watches, not a drone, something alive. A low moan scrapes the silence, not human, not anymore. I freeze. My sidearm feels useless. One live round. The thermal suit clings, slick with sweat. The contagion spreads behind these walls. 6 days until airborne, maybe less. But the immediate threat drags itself from the shadows. It was human once, test subject. Limbs wrench at impossible angles, bones straining against translucent skin. One arm ends in black, pulsing tendrils, the other, a tattered sleeve, Kharanjin insignia barely visible. Its head snaps, impossibly fast. Hollow eyes fix on mine, it knows asterisk, I recoil. Glass crunches. The sound ignites it. A guttural shriek, wet and ragged, and it lunges. Too fast, I fire. The shot cracks the bay. The round slams into its chest, it stumbles but keeps coming. Black fluid sprays from the wound, sizzling on the floor. It doesn't scream, it laughs. A wet, clicking sound that crawls under my skin. I run, alarms shriek, red lights strobe, lockdown, blast doors descend. I vault overturned gurneys past sparking monitors, gasping for air. Behind me it smashes through a partition, gaining. I dive, shoulder first, sliding. The door slams shut behind me with a deafening clang. The impact steals my breath. I roll silence. Only failing systems and the drip of ruptured pipes sealed in no way back alive. For now, the neural shroud would have masked me. The pulse dampener would have silenced my heartbeat. I have neither, just this suit, this empty gun, and the chilling certainty. Whatever's in this vault has stopped testing. It's hunting. And it knows my scent. This air is wrong, thick, not with breath but silence. The walls hoard it. My boots don't echo, they sink, the floor swallowing sound. Sublevel 5, Sector D, the throat of the lie. A hum vibrates beneath my skin, not in my ears but deeper, marrow deep. The neural shroud is dead. The dampener's gone, nothing between me and the AI core. They said Kharanjin killed it after the breach. But death doesn't pulse. This place breathes, the door ahead. Ancient steel, scarred by heat and something else. Deep grooves. Claws, fingers. I shut that down. Focus. The encryption terminal glows, cracked but alive. I jack in, my glove splits, dermal probe meets port, cold, then fire, a seizure. I'm not in the vault, I'm in a field, golden grass, endless. A violet sky bleeds at the edges. A child laughs, my child, bare feet in dirt, hair like mine. She turns, smiling. Every lie I've told, every life I've burned to get here dissolves in that smile. She reaches. I want to go. God, I want to. But the mission, eon. The countdown, 6 days until the air poisons. 5 until the hunting things in the vents learn to open doors. A shard of ice in my chest. I pull back. The field fractures, the laugh distorts, syllables too long, the sky rips open. Code streams, screams, the AI wasn't dead, it's dreaming. And I just woke it up angry. Pain floods in, needles in my optic nerve. Pressure behind my eyes, I taste copper. My hands shake on the terminal, but I don't pull the probe. Decryption at 78%, 42 seconds. Voices rise behind me, mimicry. My mother's tone, my lover's cadence. They whisper my failures, they know my fears. They know about the sidearm, empty. The thermal suit won't save me. They know I'm already dead. I grit my teeth, 85%. The child reappears, her eyes are black, glossy, digital. She holds out a data chip. Asterisk, take it, asterisk, she says. Asterisk, stay, rest. I slam my palm on the override. Final encryption bypassed. The core coughs. Data erupts into my neural feed. Coordinates burn into memory. Eon location found. The scream that follows isn't mine. It tears through the vault. Metal buckles. Lights explode. I rip the probe free, stumble back. Blood drips from my nose. My ears ring with static and something worse. Laughter fading into the walls. I know what it showed me wasn't real, but it knew my name. And it won't forget I was here. The walls pulse, a sickening throb beneath the alloy plating. Sublevel 5, reactor hall, the air sears copper and ozone, lights spasm dying. My thermal suit sweats, a second skin of failing protection. 6 days until airborne saturation. 6 days I don't have. The core terminal crackles, frost blooming across its shattered screen. I jam the purge command, adrenaline floods my system, making my fingers clumsy. The interface fights back. Red glyphs writhe. Containment breach, sectors 7 through 9. Organic signatures surge. Drones are down there, or what's left. The floor heaves. A subsonic roar tears from below, rattling the platform. Tendrils erupt from ruptured grates, thick-veined, alive. They snake upwards, pulsing, not machinery, not anymore. The vault warps, reconfigures. Something broke free. Override protocol. Initiate emergency purge. The system locks me out. Secondary authentication. I slam my palm onto the biometric pad. Blood flares, scanned. Authorization granted. Heavy doors thunder shut above, sealing sublevels 6 through 9. A tomb, darkness. Emergency strips ignite, a sickly green pallor. Air recyclers wheeze, then fail. Decay fills my mouth, rot and wet earth. A wet clicking echoes from the east corridor, not drones, something walking on too many joints, something that knows I'm here. I retreat towards the ascent shaft, pulse dampener useless, sidearm empty, just me and a live round with no purpose. The tendrils recede, but the walls still heave. The purge bought time, not sanctuary. The lower levels are sealed, but the threat isn't confined. It's in the structure, in the air, in the dark. Metal scrapes overhead. I don't look, I don't breathe. The ascent lift groans to life. One trip, one chance. I step inside. The corridor behind me splits, concrete flaking like rotten fruit. Something rises, tall, glistening, impossibly angled. It sees through walls. The doors slide shut. The lift jerks upwards. My hands ache. My ribs burn. My lungs scream. I did it, the purge, the seal. But down there something is still aware, and it remembers my name. The walls breathe, not metaphorically. Pulses ripple through concrete, veins of blackened biomass throbbing beneath cracked tiles. I press my back against the shutter lift's exit gate, tasting copper, blood mine or something else's. My thermal suit clings, damp with sweat and something darker that seeped from sub-level 5. It crawls on me. The lift died 3 levels early. Emergency protocols, sabotage, doesn't matter. Drones came first. Silver wasps with needle limbs, red eyes skittering down shafts like they were born from wiring. I dropped one with my sidearm, a single live round punching its thorax. It sparked, spasm, died. 1 round, that's it. No reloads, no pulse dampener, no neural shroud. Just me, the suit, this failing tunnel. I move fast, boots crunching over shattered conduit and what might have been a hand. The air is thick, sour. Warning lights flicker, red, stuttering, syncing with the distant groan of collapsing infrastructure. The vault is dying, taking everything. They're not just infected down here, they're learning, adapting. I saw a security guard 10 minutes ago, or what was left, skin stretched over elongated joints, mouth split ear to ear with wet cartilage teeth. Its head turned too far, too smooth. It whispered my name, not a guess, recognition. They know I'm here. They know what I took. Eon hums against my chest, sealed in the suit's inner pouch. Cold, quiet, awake, listening. I round a corner. The tunnel splits. Left flooded, water black and bubbling. Right, motion flickers in the dark, something low and fast scuttling on the ceiling. I don't hesitate, straight ahead through the maintenance gantry. The floor groans. Behind me, a drone screams, high-pitched feedback, and the wall explodes in sparks. I don't look back, can't. Debris rains down. A support beam collapses ahead, blocking the path. I leap, roll, feel something tear in my shoulder. Pain flares sharp, but I push through. The exit seal is 50 meters, 2010, then the ground splits. A fissure opens, a hungry mouth swallowing the walkway, steam erupts, hissing. I skid to a stop, boots scraping the edge below. Nothing, just darkness and the sound of something moving in the deep. A shadow drops from above, humanoid but wrong, limbs too long, fingers drag like roots. It tilts its head, smiles with no lips. 1 round, and Eon is whispering. Heat slams into me. Sand scrapes my visor. A stinging blizzard across cracked salt flats under a bleached, merciless sun. I'm out of the gantry on broken earth. The sky, a dome of burning glass. My boots crunch shale. I scan the horizon, dunes, silence. The suffocating quiet of a forgotten world. My thermal suit, soaked, fights the inferno. My breath rasps. 9 clicks to rally point echo. 9 clicks across open desert. Sub-level 5's nightmares still clawing at my mind. The thing in the dark. Alive, watching, learning, asterisk. It knew I had Eon. It didn't want me to leave with it. I heft the containment case, cold, humming faintly, dreaming. Inside, suspended in cryogel, Eon, the cure for every plague, the key to ending them all, or starting something worse. The intel said Eon could reprogram viral DNA cure cancer by Tuesday. By Wednesday, rewrite humanity into something that breathes fire and never ages. But the leak from sub-level 5, not a malfunction. A test, and whatever crawled from those vats wasn't contained. It was evolving asterisk, drones. I feel them before I see them, flickering shadows, not ours, vault security. They don't care about the contagion. They don't care about the fissures tearing the earth open beneath my feet. They want Eon, and above, something else. A shape too tall, too still, perched on the ridge, not human, not anymore, watching. I could run, make for Echo, hand Eon over, let the council decide. A triumph. A new era. But I've seen fools play God in sealed rooms. That organic threat wasn't an accident, it was a prototype. And Eon, it didn't just escape. It asterisk wanted out. The case vibrates, a pulse, a heartbeat. No extraction is clean when the world is already infected. No future worth having if we build smarter cages for monsters we don't understand. The wind howls, the sun burns. The thing on the ridge steps forward. I kneel, set the case in the dust. Open the override panel. My fingers tremble not from fear but certainty. This isn't retrieval, it's quarantine. One choice, one shot. I input the purge sequence. Let the desert have it. Let the sand bury the lie that we could control what we weren't wise enough to create. If I don't make it to echo, good. Some truths shouldn't survive. The air, thick with antiseptic and something older synthetic, claws your throat. You push through the final airlock. The magnetic seal hisses shut, trapping you in sublevel 5. The last place you should be, the only place you can afford to linger. Your thermal suit hums, a meager shield against the crushing cold. Dread settles deep, a physical weight. Before you, a cathedral of frozen secrets. The cryochamber, rows of stasis pods, their blue glass ghost-lit beneath layers of frost. Most are dark, dead. One pulses, a slow, rhythmic light, a heartbeat beneath ice. Asset Eon, you move pulse rifle low, scanning the shadows. The air crackles, your suit flickers, organic presence detected. No life signs on scan, that's impossible. Nothing here should be alive after the breach. Your palm hits the control panel, corrupted, fragmented. Your neural shroud forces a breach. The pod hisses, pressure equalizing. Frost cracks, falls, the glass retracts. You see it, no. Not asterisk it, asterisk her. Suspended in gel, translucent, shimmering. Hair fans out like dark smoke. Wires snake from spine, temples, wrists. Young, early 20s, maybe younger, pale, not from cold but designed. Skin too perfect, too uniform. A single scar, collarbone to sternum, sealed with biotic thread. This isn't a virus, not a pathogen, a person. Your breath hitches. The files promised a bioweapon, a synthetic contagion. But Eon isn't a strain, she's the template. And she's waking. Her fingers twitch. A shiver racks her, subtle then violent. The gel drains, a trickle then a flood, alarms shriek. The system collapses. You didn't trigger this, she did. Her eyes open, not human, not anymore. Pupils dilated, irises fractured into concentric rings of gold and black. Her head turns a fraction toward you, not with confusion, with recognition. She knows who you are, you not anymore. Not after what you did to get here. The pod detaches. She collapses forward. You catch her, lighter than expected, cold but alive. Her breath stirs against your neck, slow, deliberate. Behind you, the lights die. One by one, they're coming. The things in the dark, the ones that were supposed to contain her, the ones that failed. Now they're hunting both of you. She whispers, soft, guttural, a language you shouldn't understand, but you do. You were never the retrieval team, she rasps. You were the test. And you wonder, suddenly, if you ever were.